Hi guys, this is a quick video because recently you had the Carnival in London. I remember the day we left. We actually left London on the final day of the Carnival. Leading up to us leaving London, one of the reasons that I wanted to leave London anyway is because of the crime in our area. Forget about London itself, but the surrounding areas and the actual area that we lived in. Our area, called Kensal Rise, was quite an affluent area. It was gentrified. It went through gentrification, if you know what I mean. And so the area was quite. It was a nice area, but areas around um, Kensal Rise, places like Harlesden, Kensal Green, Willesden, Labrador Grove, Harrow Road, are just horrible areas. I mean, I wouldn't live there. I wouldn't want to live in those areas. There's a crime, crack houses, drugs. You still get muggings, burglaries. Oh, it's just so much. I've seen some nutty things usually in those areas, not in our area in Kensal Rise. But 6 months before we left, there were quite a few incidences, and all these incidences happened just outside my front door, and that's really really strange. Okay, one incident. I was yeah, I stepped out to go to the Tesco, which is a local Tesco in Kensal Rise. What did I see? One guy with his ass out, sticking out of my front my front the front door, the driver's door, sorry. And I looked and I said, "Oi, what are you fucking doing?" This guy coolly came out and he had a bunch of stuff that I had in the glove compartment. And he had a roll of a Sainsbury's thing, Sainsbury's receipt. I didn't know what to say to him. I said, "Give me my fucking receipt." And he gave it to me. I just took it off him, and he just cut. The thing that I dislike is he calmly just looked. He looked at me like that and calmly just walked away. Turned around, walking away calmly, like in a cool way, strutting. I wish I had my dogs. He wouldn't be fucking strutting. He'd be running. Um, yeah, fucker he broke into my car and he's trying to take stuff, and the car is outside my door. That's number one. Number two, incident number two. I parked. House is here. Front door is here. On the left hand side, on my let's say, I couldn't find a parking space in front of my house, so it was three cars down. It was in the evening time, and there's an Asian family. I think Indian. I think they are. She came to my door and she said to me, she works actually for the police. I don't know what she does in the police, but she works for the police. Maybe she works it's not a dinner lady, but in the cafeteria or something like that, or maybe in the offices. I'm not sure. She said to me, "Gerald, I just wanted to make you aware there were two guys inside your car." Again, two guys broke into my car. And I thought, and she said, "Oh," she said, "I don't think they stole anything because I didn't see them take anything." So then I went to check and they didn't, because I've got nothing in my car. Look at it; it's an old Volvo. I don't have a radio or anything like that. No valuables. So that's it. That's the second time someone broke into my car. Third time. Oh, sorry, third incident. There was two kids, maybe teenagers. No, no, maybe 14, 14 to 15 maximum, and they were across the road. Like, could you imagine like a Victorian house, and then you've got the entrance, you've got the door that's kind of like inside the house, and you can hide there. But basically, what these people did is they have a hedge in front of the house, and it kind of hides. It kind of hides if people want to come in and try to burgle and try to open your front windows, nobody can see. And that's what they did. They tried to open the front windows in the front of the house, but the people next door could see from above, and they can see what they were doing. They can see that these two kids were stealing some. They were trying to rob the house. The police came, they took them away, and then that's the third incident. Fourth incident. Oh yeah, yeah. There was a guy, like he had curly hair, strong guy, a black guy, and he had a white Audi, I think. And he was all pissed off because I saw him come out of his car, and he was complaining to another guy. It's obviously some road rage thing, you know. So he went back into his car and he drove away. And I came out to see what happened. And there was this, I don't know, Middle Eastern guy. I don't know where he's from. And he looked quite shook up. And he was like a delivery driver for a pizza thing, you know. And I said to him, "Oh, are you okay? What happened?" He said, "The black man, he has a silver gun." I said, "Really?" Basically, what happened is the black guy was pissed off because this guy didn't let him, like, he didn't give way. And apparently the guy came out with a big gun, a silver gun. That's what he said to me. I said, "Really?" "Yes." He said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, listen, I have to call the police because you have to tell the police there's a person with a gun." He said, "No, no, 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 no police, no police." So I thought maybe he's some illegal immigrant, maybe, and he doesn't want, you know, the police to get involved. I just thought that, you know, maybe that's not the case. Maybe he just didn't want trouble. So he just left. Quickly he left. I couldn't get his number plate or anything. But he was like scared, really scared. So that's the fourth incident. The fifth incident, this was on, yeah, this was on during the carnival. There was a guy, a black guy, who he obviously was pissed. You know what he was doing? He had a bottle of whiskey and he was he was smashing every wing mirror of all the cars. Boom, 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 all of them. And my dad was out, kind of sitting outside, and I was outside. I was just hoping he wasn't going to do our one. And as he walked past, he missed a few cars. Then he started hitting a few further along, smashing them, fucking smashing them, you know. And I realized we can't live in this shithole again anymore, because all he has to do is smash our windscreen. There's going to be fucking trouble. He's not going to get away with it. My dad, for example, even though he was like old, you know, he wouldn't take any any crap from anyone. It doesn't matter who they are, if they got a weapon, nothing. And I think that has rubbed off on me, and it's not good. It's not an intelligent way to do things. Those are some of the reasons why I left. There's just too much crime in London. There's too much of it. And all this happened in a space of about a few months, maybe 5 or 6 months, just before we left. And, you know, the final straw was the carnival. In the carnival, you know, that year, it was so, like, I heard stories of some neighbors saying that basically people were having sex in their front garden. What kind of bollocks is that? And pooing, there's poo on the road, pee everywhere, smoke of ganja everywhere, like drugs, you know, hashish or whatever it is, weed. It's just like every year, in, you know, when it comes to carnival time, we either left either left London or had to barricade ourselves, close all the doors, and all you hear is helicopters all the time. You know, so for a few days, you're like a prisoner. That last carnival that we went to, but not went to, we went through, or sorry, the last carnival anyway. I actually went to Kensal Rise up onto the high road, and there was a sea of people. Like, it's never been that busy before, and like all naked, like no tops on. Basically, it was quite. I don't know. It was scary. Our local Tesco, they're all like Sri Lankan there, and they're just complaining so much I tell you, if you think like some people are racist, those people in those Sri Lankan people, I can't repeat what they bloody say, but they're, they're bad people. I mean, no, they're not bad people, but I mean, like the because they have to deal with it all the time in Kensal Rise where we live, and especially on that day, they were really complaining. They said that, well, I can't repeat what they said to me, but they were fed up, basically fed up of so many people coming in and so many people stealing stuff from and making advances on the ladies there. Fucking disgusting, actually. I know the girls that work there. There was one girl from Romania, a really lovely girl. This guy went in there. He goes, do you have a boyfriend?" And she's trying to be nice. "Oh yes, I have a boyfriend." And basically, then following her after work, like, I don't know, it's just not leaving her alone, and also trying to talk to the other, like, the Sri Lankan women there. But those few days of the carnival, I went once, but I saw basically so much stuff going on. So many people, all drugged up, yeah, having a nice time. I just felt so unsafe, and I went with my daughter, and I thought, I just want to get back home safe, really. All I went is just a few hundred meters, and I came back, and I thought, I'm not going out again. So you can't go out for fucking 3 days. There's an elderly West Indian guy, a black guy, and he says he hates the carnival. He's like a pensioner, right? And he takes the, how do you call it, a coach, and they all, like with other elderly people, they just take the coach and they leave for those few days. I don't blame you. Doesn't want to hear that all that bloody bass or whatever it is for 3 fucking days. Yeah. And then people say, "Did you go to the carnival?" Well, I've been stabbed before. I don't want to go again, be stabbed again. So apparently this year, like there've been 4 stabbings. No, 10 stabbings or 11 stabbings, and 4 are critical. Like they might lose their life. What the fuck is that? Yeah, so about the carnival, I don't particularly care, but the only problem is we used to live in an area where it's in the slap bang in the middle of the carnival. So if I lived in an area where, not near Notting Hill, yeah, cool, okay, you do what you want. But for a few days, to be honest, you're like a prisoner there. You're a prisoner in that area. Now it's become so big that it's worse and worse. There's people shitting on the street, people peeing, people actually doing other things. In people's, they're like animals. Some people, having sex in people's front garden. What the fuck's wrong with them? Stabbing, like, I don't know, machete. What other things do they have? I would never go to the carnival, never. I mean, maybe in the past, when it was less, less dangerous, maybe less, when it was smaller, a smaller gathering, but not now. Now it's just, there are just too many people, and it's just an opportunity for crime. No, it's not just that, but it's also an opportunity for crime. How much drugs get sold there? How much do you think? Here's a little, not just a little spliff, some weed or hash or whatever they sell. Fights amongst gangs with knives. What the fuck? And the police can't do anything. If there's a big fight, what are they gonna do? They're gonna do nothing. So anyway, I'm happy that I left London, and I'm happy that I left an area where the carnival, the procession or whatever goes through. Some people say, "Oh, take it to Hyde Park because the streets of London, Notting Hill." It's just, people talk about, yeah, it's a celebration of a community. No, it fucking isn't. If it was a celebration of community, why do people have to barricade themselves in their houses and their business have to be barricaded up? It's a celebration of culture. What? Fucking knife culture. People get stabbed. Every year people get stabbed and sometimes they die. I remember about years ago, one guy, he was complaining about the Coca-Cola being like 75p or whatever. He got stabbed to death just because of an argument over Coke. You know, every few years people actually die in that event. So I don't, when I say I don't like the carnival, it's not that I don't like people celebrating like the West Indian or Caribbean culture. No, I don't mean that. All I mean is that it's why does the Caribbean like culture or West Indian culture um, have to have something to do with knives and stabbing and killing and crime? You know, it's because like white people, they don't speak up because for fear of being called racist. As a society, I think it just shows that multiculturalism, of course, hasn't worked because we're supposed to be one culture, and white people and black people all together, you know, they should, like, black people should say, oh yeah, I don't like this about our culture in London, and white people should say, oh, we don't like this. But no, they don't, because they think if they say anything wrong, then that's racist because they're the other, they're not us. They don't have a right to speak because that's another tribe, that's another group. So where is this multicultural society? There's no multicultural society. There are certain areas where there's black people, certain areas where there's white people. You know, we're not united, or, you know, when they talk about community, they're talking about their community and our community. So basically it's a separation of people. There's no integration, nothing. So when people say it's a celebration of a community, yeah, it's a celebration of your community or what you think, you know, are the, you know, the things that you want to celebrate or whatever. What I'm trying to say is, are you allowed to say there's too much fucking crime, too much drugs being sold in this event that celebrates the community? What do you mean the community? Like, I used to live in that area, and it doesn't celebrate me. I don't do drugs. My parents didn't do drugs. You know, didn't go stabbing people. We didn't, you know, yeah, a section of the community. Yeah, you can say. Well, anyway, a load of bollocks. What I'm trying to say, hang on, let me just try and be clear. What I'm trying to say here is that English whites or Italian whites, they're too afraid to say, hey, there's too much stabbing in this in this bloody carnival, because someone can turn around and say, why are you so racist? It's because it's a black people's festival. That's why you're saying that. You are racist. So you can't say anything. But if the carnival has got to do with like lots of people, different people going there, it's no longer like a Caribbean festival or the carnival for just black people. It's for everyone. So everyone has a right to say what they want to say, you know, have their opinion. But you're not. And then they'll say, well, at Glastonbury they sell drugs. Oh, fuck off. Glastonbury. Yeah, but there's not the same amount of knife crime and people being killed and stuff like that. Well, I don't think so. I mean, I've got a friend in London, and he's roughly my age, and he says he's a black guy. He said he would never go to the carnival. But maybe it's the age thing, you know, you wouldn't go to a place like that where you know there's a slim chance of being fucking killed. You know, when you're young in your 20s or 30s, yeah, you say, it's all right, you know, you're immortal anyway, you don't give a shit, you can run, you can fight. But when you get older, you become more mature and you start using this bloody thing here and you're more afraid. Yeah, so those are my thoughts about, you know, why we left London. Some of the reasons why we left London, there was just too much crime. And also the carnival. To be honest, I just don't like it. I don't like the carnival every year. If it was, or if it was like, and I can hear the trolls. Yeah, he's fucking racist bastard. Yeah, hear me out before you fucking judge. If it was just like, like the first day, the Children's Day, fantastic, great. I would actually fucking go myself. I would get my kids to go. So it's not about racism. It's about crime. The crime and the fact that you can die going to that bloody event. It's the second day or the adult day where you got, like, when we left, basically I was shit scared for my life and my family. We were in the car and we drove down the wrong way, the wrong road, and then I had to do a 3-point turn. There were people smashing bottles in front of the car everywhere, and you've got people with no tops on, with a gold chain or whatever, like hundreds of men, like a few women, and they were all like, you could smell of ganja everywhere, and alcohol and glasses being smashed on the floor. And I thought, I have to fucking get out of here. As I was doing the 3-point turn, someone smashed a bottle in front. I'm not going to be complaining, because you've got like a sea of like guys that can fucking kill you, can ambush the car. So I just shut up. I just did a 3-point turn, and what I saw was, in front of me, I saw there was a guy in a car, and then the police had their siren on. They were telling the guy in front, they were beeping to get out of the way. This black guy came out of the car, and I think he hit the bonnet of the police, and he was saying something to them. And the fucking police stayed in the car. Like, they stayed in the car. That's okay, you can do that. They stayed in the car, and they just didn't say anything. And so then what they did is they drove. The guy got in the car again, and he drove away. Basically, the police had to shut up, and that was very frightening. And what I did is I continued my 3-point turn, and I had to drive slowly down the roads because of every people crossing the roads, and then the day after, there's shit everywhere. There's poo, there's litter everywhere. People pissed in people's front gardens, on the street. I mean, yeah, they say, well, it brings in a lot of money, but in our area it brings a lot of shit and piss and litter and like noise and crime. If it was like like that first day with the Children's Day, because there are 2 days, I think 2 days, 2.5 days or whatever. If it's like the first day, yeah, that's fine, that's nice. You see lots of children having a nice time. People have nice costumes, and it's part of the Caribbean culture. Fantastic. It's the fucking second day when you've got all the adults and all the drugs, all the big men, and the police can't do anything. The police are like, they can't control anything. If they have to take a person out of the crowd, there's no way they're going to do it, because lots of people are just going to crowd round. And like, to be honest, the police are shit scared. They know that people have got knives, maybe guns as well. There was one guy who was found with a gun going to the carnival this year, and the police intercepted him. So yeah, one, I would never go to the carnival. Two, I wouldn't want my children going to the carnival. And to be honest, it's because my parents, I said, when I was a kid, should we go to the carnival? Maybe I was about 18 or 19. He said, no, Jero, no go to the carnival. No. Carnival and no good. So, I listened to my parents. I know why now. So anyway, if you guys have any thoughts about the carnival or violent crime in London in general, let me know, of course. So thumbs up. And of course, loads of the people are going to say, oh. And I know the reason why, but yeah, you guys live in London. It's mostly all those people like living in these places where people don't commit much crime, and they say, yeah, they commit crimes in Norwich, for example. Are you crazy? You can't compare Norwich to London. Or live in some village somewhere. Yeah, we got crime as well. No, you haven't got fucking crime. just before I left, it was a few months before, I was driving to our local park, and the police. It's a really strange scene. The police stopped these 5 black guys, maybe teenagers. They surrounded the car, and I couldn't know what am I talking about. I was walking, and there was a guy he didn't have a mask. He had a t-shirt put over his, so you can't see his face. I think his t-shirt was no, or some kind of a rag, so you can't see his face, and a t-shirt. It was a white guy, and a few of them like that. And I thought, what the fuck is this? So obviously, maybe undercover or something. Then I saw a policeman with a machine gun. He was at the front of the car, and the guy with the rag here, he said, "Go back." And I thought, okay, I'm going back. Yeah, and these guys they had hands behind their back and on the floor. So it must have been some kind of drugs raid or firearms thing. And this was just like about 10 minutes 10 minutes walk from my house. And, a lot of this stuff was happening in the last 6 months or a year. And so, like, crime was escalating just before I left. God knows what it's like now in London. And that was a few years ago. Anyway, that's my story of the events leading to me leaving London. So yeah, again, like, dislike, and share if you want. See you in the next video. Bye.